Yo, what's up guys? Here's a new video of me basically changing my exhaust manifold, and I have new headers right here. The old one cracked. I'll show you where it cracked. I already took it off. It's right here. So here it is. So this is the flange where it connects up to, but yeah, it literally cracked when I was driving, as you guys can see, which really sucks. So I had to buy a whole new one. That's just the other thing. I already took that out. But this finally came from DNA Motors. Bought this. New headers. Looks really shiny. It came with this and a gasket. However, I bought my own gasket. I brought the Felpro because everyone says do not use the gasket that whatever manufacturer comes with because they all suck. And it's true because I looked at both gaskets and they all... Here, let me just pull it out for you. Alright, so the Felpro comes in this nice packaging. This is the Felpro one. It has metal rings around the holes. And this is the other gasket from this package. I just put it in here just because I won't be using this one, but yeah, the quality for this one doesn't feel as great, and there's no metal rings in between these holes. So yeah, that's just gonna be there. But yeah, I really don't want to record this video, but I am. So yeah. So what I'm doing now, I'm just taking everything apart. Since I have this jack on the hood, I have to take this off. It gives me more room to work with, so I can just lift the hood up higher and work on it. And yeah, I'll update you on how everything goes. Alright guys, so I got the throttle body out, and I have a throttle body spacer on. Not sure if you guys remember that. And this is how it looks. And what I'm going to be doing is literally just cleaning that up and cleaning my throttle body out, because I mean, I have it out already, so why not? And you can see all that carbon. Let me try to focus it. Look at all that carbon buildup in the throttle body spacer. It's pretty crazy. But yeah, I have it out, so I'm just gonna clean it up. And this too, upside down. Just clean that out and we should be good. But yeah, I also labeled the connections so when I take it out I don't forget. So I would recommend you guys doing that too if you are doing the same project. Next thing I'm going to do is, I don't have a tool to disconnect the fuel line, but a trick that I heard was instead of, if you don't have the tool, you could just get the end of a Sharpie cap, cut it off, and like literally just stick it in right here and just push it in. However, I'm not going to be taking off my fuel line. I'm just going to be disconnecting the fuel rail and cleaning my injectors too, because you know, why not? I'm already opening it up, might as well clean it. And plus I gave myself 2 days to finish this project, so I have a little downtime to just relax, not rush things, because you know, when you rush things, when you fuck up. Alright, here's another update. So I just unscrewed the fuel rail, and you know, I took it out. It took a bit of force to take it out, since I've never done it before. I didn't want to break anything, so I was very careful. But here are the fuel injectors. You can see them. So when you take them out, make sure they have the O-rings on them, the rubber. As you can see, the last one didn't have it, so I had to go dig into the injector holes and get it out. And here it is right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean the tips of the injectors and make the O-rings clean too. And then later when I put them in, I'm going to lube it up and just stick it in. Also, I'm going to clean these holes where the injectors go in. As you guys can see right here, look at the tips of the O-rings. Look at that one. Look how dirty they are. So I would recommend just cleaning all of these before you put it in. You could replace it, but I'm too lazy to replace it. Plus it costs a lot of money, and I don't feel like spending any more money. I didn't even want to do the headers, but my headers broke. I'll show you once I get those headers out. I knew I had an exhaust leak when I was running it, but I was like, I don't care. But then I hit a bump on the road and it just cracked and broke. So now I'm doing this. Alright guys, so by far the hardest part of the whole project is getting the 4 bolts underneath out. So, I mean, I managed to do it, and I'm going to save you guys a bunch of time by telling you what tools you need and how to get it out as fast as possible. So, I mean, here are the bolts right here. I still have one more. I think for this last one. So, all right, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's a 5th one underneath, and I'm gonna show you how to get the 5th one. So I already got the bottom one, like furthest to the Jeep. The hardest one, I think, for people might be. So let me label this number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 underneath. I think the hardest will be number 5 and number 4. But the last one is number 5. I didn't get that out yet. I couldn't look at that underneath the Jeep, but I was looking around, and the best place to get it is right here. I'm not sure if you guys can see it, but it is literally right there. Let me try to zoom in. That's it right there. So get a really long extension and use it to take it out. It's a 14mm, and I already sprayed my PB blaster on it like a lot, so make sure you do that too. But yeah, let me show you what tools I used. So I had this long ass breaker bar, which is very helpful because a lot of the bolts were really, you know, stuck on there really good. And this, if you can get this, it's basically a swivel 14mm socket. That helps a lot. And this, a little extension. This is what you need to basically go underneath the Jeep and take it out. But here's the funny thing. So the first time I did it, I broke that little extension part, and it was stuck inside the socket. Look at that. So this is like the other, but good thing I had a spare, so I had that. So those are the tools that you will need to take off the hardest part of I'm out of breath, guys. But yeah, those are the tools that you need to take off the 5 bottom bolts. The easiest way I found to get that bolt right there from like this position is make this crazy ass long extension. Look at this. So this itself is like a breaker bar. This is like 2 feet. Yeah, this is like 2 feet, and this is a good yard. This extension is a good yard. But yeah, so I'm just gonna do that. I have the little swivel. One extension, another extension, another one. And yeah, just gonna try to take that one out. Be really careful not to strip anything or break anything, but that's how you do it. Alright guys, here's a side note when working on your Jeep. When you're working on your Jeep, like this is random stuff that might not apply to you, but right now it's kind of hot outside. As you can see, it's nighttime, but it's still a little hot and humid. So I really recommend that you guys wear a like an Under Armour t-shirt or any type of shirt that doesn't absorb moisture, as well as cotton, because like if you wear cotton, it's gonna be really uncomfortable. And with this is like dry. This is dry fit, so even though I'm sweating a lot, I don't feel that sweaty. Also, I recommend wearing some, you know, rubber gloves. I know some of them rip sometimes, but you know, it's better than nothing to be protected with your skin. Some of you guys might say, oh, be a man, just use your hands and you wash it with that, you know, that mechanic soap, but I'd rather not. It's too much work. I could just take off the gloves and be done with it. Another thing is, you know, you want some good ventilation. So I have this fan right over there. It's going on. The fan's just running on high. I'm working on the Jeep. It feels good. And right now I'm not playing music or playing anything, but usually I have my phone right here that you're watching it from. It's connected to a huge speaker and it's just playing audiobooks. I'd rather listen to audiobooks than listen to music when I'm working on my car. My perspective is that because I can always be learning something new instead of, just listening to the same type of music that you've always been listening to. So instead, I like to learn new stuff. This is not a sponsor or anything. I'm just saying I like to read, I like to listen to books, like knowledge. Because I am an entrepreneur myself. I do e-commerce on the side. Believe it or not, I'm not even that focused on my Jeep right now. I just do what I have to do. And currently what I have to do is change this with the broken one in there. So I'm not really focused on that. I also recommend that you guys have some, H2O, some energy drinks. I have some coffee too. Maybe that's too much energy, but yeah. And obviously, take your pee breaks. And I just had a little snack. I had some Chex Mix with my little snacks because I know for a fact, everyone should know this. If you're feeling tired, feeling dizzy, whatever, and you're working on the car for a long time, and because like when you're working on a car, you do feel tired. You just need some carbohydrates, and Chex Mix is perfect for that because it'll give you like a good boost of energy. But yeah, I'm still working on this. Gonna take it out, clean it up. I managed to take this intake manifold off. It looks heavy as shit, but it's actually really, really light. I took it out with one hand. It's not because I'm swole or anything, but I mean, it's just really easy to take off in my opinion. But you want to be careful with this because I believe since it's so light, it's made of aluminum. Look at that, one hand. This is probably just, I would say 5 to, I'm doing curls with it. This is probably just, I would say 8 pounds or 10, 8 to 10 pounds. There we go. Yeah, but look how dirty everything is. I'm going to be, just blasting this with brake cleaner. And oh my god, look at these intakes. Oh wow, that's disgusting. Let me focus that on for you. Yeah, so all of it is really, really dirty. I'm basically rebuilding my engine, kinda, after I clean this up, because it should be really clean, and I'm excited. And also, I'm gonna put this down, put it down gently, don't want to scratch it. Here is the other part. So the trick on getting this, getting that out was, once you get all the bolts out, you literally have to pull it out horizontally this way, then you can pull it up vertically, because there are these dowel pins right there. There's one, and there's another dowel pin right over there. So yeah, in order to take it out, you have to pull it out horizontally, then you can pull it up. As you can see, those ports are really dirty too. Let's go deep inside of one. It's pretty cool looking inside the engine. I've never done that before. Not for my car. I mean, not for my Jeep at least. But it looks like they used a cheap gasket. So I'm gonna take off that last bolt because I already took off all the other bolts. Yeah, I did. And I'm going to see how clean it is and how dirty everything is. That should be fun. Here it is taken off. As you can see, this is the old one, and that's the new one. So, I read on the forums, and sit on this. I read on the forums that a lot of people, said, so obviously this is not OEM, because it has the accordion over here. But a lot of people on the forums say that the accordion's better because it absorbs the shock of the Jeep. And I mean, yeah, it's true. Maybe. But look. It literally broke off right there. Two parts. And like I was driving, it broke off, and my Jeep just instantly became a straight pipe, and it was loud as shit. But I don't know, this looks cool, stainless steel. I'm gonna be putting it on, seeing how it fits, and I hope everything goes on smoothly. Well, let me show you guys what this looks like. Let me just take off the gasket. It should come off as one piece. So, pull that out. It's stuck on that little pin right here. There's only one way the gasket can go on, by the way. It's not double-sided, so make sure it's on there pretty good. And once I take it off, I could really assess how the gasket has gone. Alright, it's off. Alright, let's focus. That's the gasket. And this one says the manifold side, so it helps you know what side to put it on correctly. But as you can see, the gasket, even though it's not like a Fel-Pro, it worked. Nothing exploded. Although there's a lot of oil on the gasket. And let's look at this. So what you're going to want to do is basically clean it up. Brake cleaner and just scrub it down. Let's go down. So put this in my little trash can right over here. And I did. I got this. You know, it's going to help me scrub it down. Some brake cleaner. But I also got a little scraping tool to help me scrape it up. So I think I'm going to try and clean that first. Then I'll clean this afterwards. Alright, so I ran into a small problem. So basically, the thickness of this flange right here, so this thickness right here is a 1/2 inch, and the old manifold is also a 1/2 inch, the exhaust manifold, and they both clamp down and clamp together right here with a nut. However, the new one I got, let me just show you, the new one I got was very thin. So there's the old one, there's the new one. The new one I got, this is very thin, so there would be an uneven clamp on both of the materials. However, I happen to have a welder, and I happen to know how to weld. And to compensate for the thickness, and to not have an exhaust leak or an intake leak, I got washers. I double stacked the washers to make them, you know, to make them equal this thickness to a 1/2 inch also, as you guys can see. You gotta do what you gotta do. I mean, some people said online, I read that they got a Dremel and they actually grinded out the other piece, the intake manifold, but I didn't want to do that. I'd rather do it on this because maybe in the future I got to replace this anyways, and I might get a thicker one. So yeah, I was like, no, I'm not gonna do that. And yeah, I was just practicing on the old one, as you can see. But yeah, that's how it looks like, and it clamps right in between right there, like barely. And I made it just thick enough right there, you know, where it clamps, where it matters. But yeah, I hope there's not gonna be a leak. But yeah, that was a big pain in the ass. Alright, here's an update. So I put the new manifold in already. And as you can see, let me zoom in. My washers that I welded up are right there, right there. So what you want to do is you don't want to tighten anything up yet. You just want to put it in there. And for the bottom bolts, you barely want it to be in there. So you could put in the manifold. And I cleaned it already, as you can see. Really nice and clean. Cleaned it. So, and the inside's pretty clean too. But yeah, the outside I don't really care about. It's just, yeah. But yeah, I cleaned the injectors, the holes for the injectors too. Made everything nice. And now it's just time to put that in and then torque everything up to spec. Alright guys, so the project is done. I'm actually really sorry that I didn't film everything, but once you take it off, all you have to do is just clean up the intake and put it all together. But as you can see, look at that the top. So it didn't work because the new manifold itself, it was too thin. So I had to, put some washers there. But I put everything back in, cleaned everything up, and I already turned it on. I drove it already. It works. It's crazy. It sounds like a brand new engine. It sounds like it literally just got off the lot in 1997, which is like the year this Jeep came out. But yeah, right now I just went to the auto store. I bought some new PVC valves, or CVC, whatever you like to call it. And I bought some grommets because I noticed, and I never changed it before, but I noticed that there's a lot of oil residue around it here and also back there. So I'm just going to change this. I watched the video on YouTube. I think it was like Jeep Solid. This guy, he gave a tip to basically get a knife, X-Acto knife, cut 2 slots right here, and then just get this and pry it up. So I'm gonna try and do that and just replace it, and hopefully there will be no vacuum leaks. Cool. So as you can see, I managed to take it out. Little scrape marks right here, not a big deal, but there it is. I managed to take it off without like breaking anything, which was cool, but I'm still going to replace it. Alright, cool guys, so I managed to get the furthest one from the front. I managed to get it out by just wiggling it out, which was pretty surprising because I wouldn't think that would work, but it did. So I mean, I'm not complaining. So now I'm just gonna replace it with the new grommet and the new valve. Bam. Should be good. But yeah guys, so I did manage to finish up the whole project, and I will be changing my oil soon too, just because the project was very tedious. That's the best way I could describe it. So the difficult part was when putting in the intake, you really have to be careful putting in the manifold with those dowel pins, because if it doesn't go directly in the dowel pins and you tighten it up, you might have a huge leak and your RPMs will go really high. I read about that in the forums and a lot of people messed up on that, so I was very careful on that step. Thankfully, when I started up my Jeep, it was perfect. It sounded perfect. It was like, wow, brand new Jeep. It was amazing. So, I mean, I'm pretty excited about that. But dude, my whole body hurts. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't work out this week because I was just prepping myself for the Jeep, because I knew I was going to do a bunch of ab crunches and holding my arm up in these weird positions. But literally, my grip on my hands, like, it's really soring right now. My forearms are throbbing. My whole body hurts. From working on my Jeep, even though it's lifted. Oh yeah, having a lifted Jeep, it helps going underneath it and working on it, but it's a pain in the ass when you're trying to do like over engine work, because I need to have a stool or a stepping ladder, or just step on my Jeep in general. But yeah, everything sounds good so far. Hopefully those washers, they hold up. I think they will. But if you guys have any questions, any comments, just put them down below. I'll read them. I don't go on to my Jeep YouTube channel that often. I have another one that I'm more focused on. But I do, oftentimes go on this channel. But yeah, in the future, once I have like a lot of money, I'd love to put like maybe an LS swap into the Jeep. I know that defeats the purpose of this, but like, still. Peace, guys.